Citizen U presents UFO, where you find out.
We're the two teachers, and today you're going to find out about the two-party system.
Andy, in our country, we have so many different ideologies, so many different belief systems, so many different worldviews. You can be a liberal, a conservative, a communitarian, a libertarian, a socialist, a communist, a this, a that.
We get it.
Why just two parties? Why do the electors, when we go out and vote, why do citizens like you and me look at our ballot and say our only choice is down to those two?
I would say it's the same reason that we have two teams in the Super Bowl, Dan, two teams in the World Series. It's the rules of the contest create two conferences in the Super Bowl, two leagues in Major League Baseball. The rules of the game in the United States politics is winner takes all. The rules of the game of any congressional seat is single-member district, one person wins, and the result is two parties.
But Andy, I guess I'm asking, why do we set up the rules that way? Why don't we allow me and you, the voter, to say this is precisely what I believe, rather than joining these broad-based coalitions, these big political parties who in many cases don't speak to my individual issues, and then I become cynical, skeptical, and maybe even inactive?
Well, why the rules are would probably come from the British system. The fact is that when we created a constitution and elections, we knew best what the British did, and they still have single-member district, and that's what they had 300 years ago. In terms of other contests that we look at that maybe aren't single-member district or winner takes all, you look at NASCAR racing, Dan. I mean, in a NASCAR race, you have all different types of team owners. You don't have a two-party system. You get prize money for finishing first, second, third, fourth, fifth. And so you see a lot of different candidates, if you will, in that race throughout the duration of the season. You don't have two leagues.
Well, the brilliant idea for me, Andy, that I rest my conscience on in this issue is that ultimately it's about governing, and ultimately it's about building that efficacy between the people and the government. And in our two-party system, it guarantees us, almost, that a majority of voters side with the governing party.
Wow.
In the Duverger's law that we talk about in our class, that when you have a winner-take-all plurality election, where the most votes wins, it reduces the competition to two, which then guarantees a majority. Now, that's complicated, and I'm getting into the weeds here, but there's a certain efficacy to it. That if we had multiple parties, it's conceivable, it's messy, but it's conceivable, in fact, likely that the governing party knows that the majority of voters cast votes against them. In our two-party system, we can almost be guaranteed that the governing party received the most votes, in fact, the majority votes, a two-party system.
Well, you're getting into the Big Ten of politics, the idea that when you have the benefits of a two-party system, the winning party has to reach out to factions, to multiple factions, to build coalitions. And in a democratic republic, a healthy democratic republic, it really is beneficial if coalitions of factions work together to govern.
Well, in a parliamentary system, that coalition of factions takes place after the election. Here in our political process, that coalition of factions takes place before the election, and we, the people, get to inform and affirm those coalitions. Andy, we're the two teachers, and this is UFO, where you find out.
Today, you found out about the two-party system.
No fancy words.
No fancy suits.
Plain talk about issues you need to know.
Just in time.